All right, guys, thank you for joining us. We got DeMichael Triggerman Harris here, 12-2 and one draw, 6 feet tall, 75-inch reach, and he fights at 130 pounds. Am I right about that, man?
Wrong
130
about the
pounds.
130 pounds, man. That's where
Are
I
you at
started off.
135?
That's where I started off. I'm a big boy
Okay.
now.
You're at 135 now?
I was at 135, so I'm trying to just figure out where I want to be, either 135 or 140.
You
Everybody
know,
telling me to go to 140, and I'm kind of feeling kind of the same.
well, listen, man, at 140, 130, anywhere between there, man, at your height and the 75-inch reach, you're an absolute dog in
For
that
sure.
division, man. You're an absolute dog in that division. You're somebody to deal with, and you have for a while. Let's get started, man. Talk to us about how it all started for you. When did you first put on boxing gloves? Why did your parents, tell you to do it like most kids? And who was your favorite fighter growing up?
Man, so it really all started. I had to been around, I want to say 3, 4 years old. My dad like literally laced me up with the boxing glove. I have like a bunch of pictures with the boxing gloves and things like that. But I was never in the gym at that time. And he always just show me little moves here and there. I always loved boxing. Um, Loved all the boxing games that came out back in the day, the Rock and Sock and Robots and things like that. So big boxing fanatic back then. But life took other places. I ended up like going to school and, end up just finding myself in other places. So right after high school, I was sitting in the house. I wasn't doing nothing. I didn't end up going to college that year. And my dad was like, hey, man, you got to get out the house. You got to do something. It's a boxing gym up the street. Maybe you should go try that out. And I went for the first time. It was my first time ever walking to a gym. I fell in love with it. I sparred like that same week, and I was already kind of natural at it. And the coaches they gave me like a big opportunity, so I just learned and kept it going.
You had to have been pretty athletic to be able to catch on that quick. Did you play any sports in high school or anything like that?
I ran track in middle school. I did basketball and football in middle school as well.
Okay, yeah, you're a tall dude, man. So yeah, I
Yeah, for
believe the
sure.
basketball thing,
Yeah,
especially in the boxing world, man. You're a giant.
but it's crazy. I wasn't that good at basketball, but I was super good at football though. I was a safety.
You were a safety in football.
Yeah,
All right, man. Yeah, were you a hard hitting safety or are you a ball hawk?
and I'm hard.
But yeah, man. Well, listen, you got into it. I know you didn't have a big amateur career, but let's jump to your pro debut, July 27th, 2019. Terrence Harris. I know you remember that name. Everybody
Yeah,
remembers
for
your
sure.
pro debut. What was your mindset? It's your first fight. You're going in there with some little ass gloves. Are you nervous? Are you excited? Or are you just locked in? What was your mindset, bro?
I couldn't believe it because prior, like a couple weeks, couple months prior, I was with Gervante Davis, and I was in the car with him, and he just turns around. He was like, "Man, you ready to turn pro?" And I'm looking at him like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I want you to fight on my undercard." And I mean, that's why my amateur career was so short because I got an opportunity just being with my friend at the time. And man, I just remember like just being in Baltimore, feeling the atmosphere. It was like his, how can I say it, like homecoming. And so I had to put on a show. I was super nervous. Stepping out to the ring, being in that, stadium and everything like that in that arena. But, I put on a great performance and I got a great first round knockout. So I felt good afterwards.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that night. I'm a big boxing fan. Obviously, it's what we do. Most reporters in boxing, we're boxing fans. They're crazy boxing fans that aren't good athletes like myself. But I'm one of those guys. You get a pay per view and you watch every single fight, even the early ones that nobody pays attention to. Everybody's out drinking, hanging out in the backyard until the big
Yeah.
event comes on. I was the guy that watched every single one, and I remember you, man. And you were knocking dudes out, and it was always, in my mind, like, how did this guy get up there? I'm a fan. I know all the amateurs. I didn't see this guy in the amateurs. Like, how does this dude get a shot that quick up there? So, I mean, how did that happen? How did the relationship between you and Gervante happen? Because, man, you don't know how hard it is for some of these kids. They got to sell tickets in clubs, and if they
Yeah.
don't sell enough tickets, and then they don't want to get paid. I mean, it's a mess. Basically, they're paying themselves, and you jumped right into stardom. So, how did that happen? How'd you meet them?
It started off like I was an amateur, and it's like maybe 2 fights before he ended up fighting Pedraza.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so he wasn't even like that super. He was that guy, but he wasn't all the way there. After
Yeah.
Pedraza, he was. But ended up like he would live in Atlanta. So we'll always just hang out, and we always out together. We just had a close relationship. And over the years, he would always see just my work ethic and things like that. So one day I kind of wanted to test myself, and I was like, "Yo, let's spar." And he was like, he looked at me like I was crazy. He started laughing at me. I was like, "Nah, I really want to spar you." He was like, "You don't want to spar me." So we ended up like going to Target. He was like, "Man, stop me at Target. Let me go get a mouthpiece." And he just laughing the whole time. Like we in the car together. We go to the gym, private session, and man, we put in some great work. And like right after that, end up going to Baltimore maybe like 2 weeks. He flew me out there. Um, got a chance to meet Coach Calvin and things like that. And end up Coach Calvin was like, "Yo, you the one that Tank always talking about." I was like, "What? That's crazy." So end up Tank, he ended up coming to the gym. He scooped me up, and that's when it all started. He ended up turning around and was like, "Man, you ready to turn pro?" I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Man, that's fantastic, man. Fantastic that you got that opportunity, man.
For
And
sure.
you made the most of it, man. After that, you made Sanders, go
Yeah,
down. You had Fultz.
yeah. That
Uh,
was in my hometown, Atlanta.
yeah, you tore up Stevenson and then
Yeah,
Garcia. You were on a roll, man, knocking everybody out. You had a draw there, but it was understandable. You were young,
yeah.
and
It
you
shouldn't have
know.
been a draw, but hey, it's
Yeah,
boxing. It's
yeah,
boxing.
yeah. That one you got kind of hosed on that one, and
Yeah,
you kept going. Nelson, phew, man, you tore that kid up. Estrella, I thought was going to give you some problems, but you did your stuff with him, and you were
yeah,
on a roll, man. I mean, I was like, this kid's gonna make it, man, and then this year you had a couple of setbacks, man. Not to be on a downer, but
yeah,
Anthony Cuba. That was a tough 8 rounder.
for
But then,
sure.
you got another good opportunity because I believe how damn good you were before. They put you up in a 10 rounder against Heaven
Hey,
Brady
remember
Jr., who's freaking excellent too.
Yeah,
And you had a setback there. They weren't overwhelmed. You didn't get like the heck beat out of you. They
yeah,
just they won. They won.
yeah.
Um,
And I always say that they won fair and square. Even with the Anthony Cuban
yeah.
fight, man, I took that fight on a 2 week notice. I
Well,
was
you
like,
beat
really
those
no
guys.
shake for that fight.
The
Yeah.
best the best trigger man beats those guys. What happened,
Oh,
man?
for
Why,
sure.
why didn't you beat those guys?
I mean, for the Anthony Cuba fight, uh, again, I don't like to really make excuses, but it was a 2 week camp. I didn't even train with my original trainers at the time. I was actually in New York training. But I was training with a great trainer. Don't get me wrong. But we didn't have that, that chemistry of it and everything. And I wasn't all the way in the best shape that I couldn't be. I wasn't as sharp as you know, I could have been. So going into the fight, man, I just really thought like, I could really knock this dude out. I mean, I ended up dropping him. I actually, if that was a 10 round fight, I definitely would have probably end up stopping him for sure. I kind of just woke up towards the end of the fight, just was like, you know what? Let me just, I got to go out with a bang. I mean, that's just me. I don't really see no guy here stopping me when in a fight. So, I just went on, went out there, gave it my all, and end up getting an 8 round knockdown. But it's boxing, so he won fair and square. He won every other round for sure. And when it comes to Haven Brady, man, I've been knowing Haven Brady for since I started boxing. We're actually our friends to this day. So, um, again, we have sparred many times. I know him, he know me. Again, it's just one of those. He's really a 130 pounder. And they was sucking me all the way down to 133. To me, I can't make 133. I barely think I can make 135. I'll be kind of struggling right now to make that weight. So that's why I think 140 would probably be best for me for sure. But again, congrats to these guys, man. They both are amazing fighters. And they got a hell of a career in front of them. So we ever meet at Anthony Q was actually at 140. So, down the line, hopefully I get my shot back at him and definitely score a mean knockout on him. And if Haven Brady ever move up to the 140 division or wherever we meet at, hopefully we can put on another show again.
Yeah, hey man, you definitely can because that eighth round knockdown, yeah, one more round he wouldn't have. You kind of caught your second win and you were on it. You were timing him correctly, and
Yeah.
bam, and it was a dramatic knockdown. I thought you did enough maybe to get that one, especially with that big knockdown. But Yeah, I went the other way. And Brady, I see what you're saying, man. He's fighting, I think, right now at 126, I think, in a week or something, or tomorrow,
Yeah,
no?
yeah, he's a small guy. He's a small guy, and
So yeah,
I'm
that
six
was
foot
kind of
tall. Like
crazy for
sucking
you.
me down all the way down to that weight. I'm 28 years old now. I'm not 20. I think I started at what 22 when I turned pro. I'm not that 22, 23-year old no more. So my body has
Yeah.
matured a lot. You can just see it in my pictures and see it in the fights, man. My body is way bigger than what it was when I first debuted. So again, no excuses. Again, these are all great fighters. Heyman Brady got amazing speed, great timing, great defense, all around great fighter. And Anthony Cuba, man, great pressure fighter. So, hats off to those guys. Hopefully, we see each other again in the future.
And don't tell him. I know he's your friend, but I think that if you had a little bit more weight, like if the weight was a little bit maybe at 135, a little more reasonable, I think you would have taken him out earlier. Don't tell him that. Took you a little bit to get used to that weight.
If you know, you know. That's all I can say. For sure.
uh, Listen, man, you're at 140. Um, that's a tough division, man. You got your Tiafimos, you got your Devin Haney's, you got your Arnold Barbosas, your Richard Hitchens, Paros, on and on. It's not any easier here, bro. Jack Catterall,
Not at all.
Cuello, man, that Russell, shit, it is a nightmare, dude. It is a nightmare, man.
140 is a lockdown division for sure.
But
But it's
you've been in that division, right? You've sparred in it. I think you
oh
sparred.
yeah, for sure.
You
Sport
sparred.
Devin Haney.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What do you got to say about division, man? What do you got to say?
Man, hey, 140, here I come. That's all I can say. I'm gonna be a lot stronger. I'm gonna be a lot faster. I'm gonna have my timing together. I feel like I'm just gonna be, that complete fighter that I was years ago. When I was really stopping these guys. And I think at 140,
Yeah.
it's gonna be even more dangerous. Again, like I got inspired with the Devin Haney's and the Richards and Hitchens. I inspired everybody. Man.
Yeah, yeah, man. So you're prepared for these guys. Yeah, I do believe what you're saying is right. You're a little older now, so your body's gotten a little bit bigger now. So it's only right that you're at 140, and I think you're gonna feel a lot fresher. And you are the trigger man. And who gave you that nickname, man? How did that nickname come about? I mean, we know
Uh,
you're a knockout artist, but who gave it to you?
I actually came, if you know, Coach Mustafa. So
Yeah.
Coach Mustafa here in Atlanta, we was sparring. I was sparring one day, and I just kept tagging the guy with the right hand, and like he just started screaming out Trigger Man," and I ended up like I got out the ring, and I was like, "Y'all like that name?" And I just stuck with it.
Coach Mustafa, is that the same Coach Mustafa that was with Bernard Hopkins?
Nah, everybody
Okay.
think that. Nah, different Mustafa.
Okay, different one. Okay, yeah. Well, there's one that's not around anymore, and another one that's really doing well. I guess that's the one that's with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, listen, man. You the road ahead, man. You're 12-2, and you just got started. Still, really.
yeah.
You got a big name for yourself. I mean, what's ahead for you, man? What do you want to do at 140? What are your goals? Who you're looking at in 2026?
Oh man, 2026. I'm going with the TKO Boxing League with the Dana White right now.
Okay,
Um,
that's
so
great.
I think that's a great opportunity for me just for right now, definitely. And I want to just make a statement. So whatever guy that I'm facing in that league, man, just definitely just go out there, put on an amazing show, put on for the league, and just be the trigger man that I am and knock these boys out.
That's exciting news, man. I didn't even know that. When did they sign you up? How did that process go? Talk to us, man.
Actually, my manager, he brought it to me a couple months ago, and I thought about it. I thought deep about it, to be honest. I really wasn't going to do it at first. But then I just thought, I felt like this would be a great platform for me to rebuild, but build my name even bigger.
Yeah.
It's a brand new platform. I know it's going to be big when it comes. Um, and I feel like I can just take over that division in that league for sure. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel
And I was
like if,
actually,
if
and
they
you're gonna be
transfer me to go fight these other guys, these other champions, and I can, make a name and put myself in. Who knows? Maybe I can fight a Richards and Hitchens one day. So we'll see.
how does that work? DeMichael, I mean, you know, if you're in TKO for the time you're in TKO, say a Hitchens opportunity came up, it won't be able to come up because you're signed with them for those years, or what?
I mean, I can't really elaborate too much on it for sure, but
Okay.
it's possible. It's
No,
possible.
no, no, yeah, no, no problem. Yeah. And I know you said you sat down and thought about it. You're no like not you're not the normal guy that's 12-2 because you started on a big stage from day one. So you probably have more business savvy and better managers and people around you than a guy that's actually 12-2 right now that's come up the harder way. Um,
Yeah.
were you concerned like at all? About like all the rumors and every it's gonna they're gonna rob their fighters and all that. Like, was that a concern for you? Did you have to really think about it, or you saw the paperwork and it was like, "Man, this makes sense and I'm doing it"?
I thought about it. I did hear the rumors and things like that. I did hear everybody
Because
say
they're
what they
rumors,
say.
they're all rumors.
They are rumors. I mean, we don't know until you're actually fighting and you're competing and, things are going your way. Of course, at the end of the day, it's all about just putting on the performance. And this is
Yeah,
boxing. And where boxing is now, your name means more than anything. Because you got guys that are like 9-0, haven't fought anybody, but their name is so big. Um, where they can make the money and they can call some shots and do things that they want to do. So I feel like now this day and age is about it's about your name and it's about
yeah,
that platform and being seen and just going out there and handling business and everything else, it's gonna come
yeah.
for sure.
So everybody's gonna watch TKO. That's exciting, man. I'm really happy for you, dude. uh, I'm glad to hear that, man. And talking about Jake Paul, how did you start that relationship? I mean, you seem to have just been surrounded by great people around you your whole career, man.
Mhm. It actually started with the promoter that I had. Pretty much he knew Jake Trainer. He wasn't even training Jake at that time.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna actually go train with him like a couple months or maybe a year before. And end up I actually reached out to my promoter and I was like, yo, I want to go ahead and try this trainer that she was talking about. Give him a try. So it happened. He was down there with Jake Paul, training Jake Paul for his first camp as well, Third Chambers, man. Amazing dude. So they gave me the opportunity to come down and literally my second day being there, Jake sits by me and we're talking and he literally gives me an opportunity to fight on his one of his MVP cards.
Mm-hmm.
The second day in Puerto Rico, I was like, wow, this is crazy. So that was pretty
That's
dope.
That's awesome, man. That's fantastic, man. That's great. You've had an opportunity to be with the best since day
Yeah.
one, and I'm sure that helped you make these great decisions that you're making, man. TKO is awesome. And listen, man, what do you think about that Gervante Davis and Jake Paul? It's not going to go on. Do you think that they're going to find a replacement?
Man, I don't know, to be honest. I mean, hopefully they do find a replacement because I know that Jake's been probably training more than ever for this fight. You know what I'm saying? Against Gervante Davis. Gervante Davis it's Gervante Davis. He's no joke. So I'm sure that, Jake really want to fight. So hopefully they do find him a replacement.
Man, and like, we're not gonna be able to see it. I honestly did want to see what was gonna happen. I
Yeah.
honestly thought Tank was gonna wash him. What do you think would have happened?
Man, to be honest, I don't know. And it sounds crazy because
No, yeah, because Jake is good, despite what
Jake
people think.
Jake has gotten so much better over the years. It's unbelievable to me, to be honest. And he has good speed. He's faster than what people think, and he hits hard. And Javante is Javante. We know what Javante do. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah,
thought, to be honest, I thought it was probably going to be a 50-50 fight, believe it or not, especially with the weight advantage that Jake would have had and the reach and things like that. So
yeah,
again, I thought it would have been a 50-50. Again, I've seen Gervonta Davis spar plenty of guys, around Jake's size, and I seen what he can do at 16 ounces. He was knocking those guys out. So I
shoot.
don't know, man. That was a dangerous fight for both.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, and listen, Mo, we got you talking predictions here. you've been around Haney, you've sparred him. He's got a big fight against Brian Norman Jr. How do you think that's going to go down?
Yes, sir. I mean, Brian Norman, he's from the city of Atlanta, where I reside. Um, Man, I've been on Brian Norman since he was 14 years old, and I will tell you this: this kid has been knocking grown men out since he was 14, and I mean sleeping them. This is
Yeah.
a tough fight for Haney. I know a lot of people probably doubting Brian Norman because they really don't know too much about him. Um, Devin Haney has a great jab. I think that Devin Haney kind of, I don't want to really say, yeah, I could kind of say it, learned the lesson with Ryan Garcia. I think Devin only problem is when he sits there and he let the crowd and the fans and people get to his head about not having power. And I feel like he tried to show that against Ryan Garcia, and that was the wrong game plan. If he would have sat there and be Devin Haney and box and use his jab and just be slick, be him, he would have easily probably won that fight. The same that he just did against, who did he just fight last in New York? Um, I forget the guy he just fought in
It
New York,
was,
but he
it was,
easily beat the dude.
I want to say it was Barbosa. No,
Yeah, I
that
think it
was,
was Barber. I think it was maybe Barbarossa. I think it
no, that was,
was.
I think, yeah, one of them. But yeah, he had a
Yep,
really easy win. Yeah. Yeah.
easy
He can
win.
box, man.
So I feel like if he go in there with Brian Norman and just sticks to the game plan, he has an easy win. But if he goes in there and try and fight fire with fire, uh, that might not end up the way he wanted to be. Because I'm telling you, Brian Norman can hit, and if he hits you with that left hook, man, it could be night night for sure.
Yeah, so yeah, man. I believe you, man. I have a friend out there in Atlanta. His name is Carlos Jackson.
Okay,
Uh, and yeah,
familiar.
I think he's a featherweight. But
Yeah,
he was telling me about Brian Norman as well. And yeah, I hear the same thing about a lot of people, man. That's gonna be a tough one. Haney, man, he's he's gonna be desperate for a win because he needs a big win, So
definitely.
hopefully, yeah. But we'll see, man. That is a good matchup, man. And well, thank you very much for joining us, man. And where can the people find you, man? And we know you're with TKO. Congratulations. Talk to the people, tell them where they can find you and what they can expect in 2026.
Man, you guys can find me on Instagram at DeMichael DeMichael. 2026, man. Let's talk about it. I mean, again, TKO Boxing. This is a very big opportunity for me. I want to go in there, pit on some great knockouts, pit on for the lead, and be one of the first fighters at 140 to win that belt that they have. So 140 gonna be a big year. 2026 is gonna be crazy, man. Just excited.
All right, man. Thank you.